Hello everyone, welcome to the session on mechanics of materials where we are dealing module 3 in our syllabus, that is shear force and bending moment diagram. So I hope everyone have undergone course on elements of civil engineering in your first semester or in first year of engineering, where you have seen different types of beams and you have you understood how to determine the reactions or the supports for different types of beams that are used in our structural mechanics or in solid mechanics. So in this course of mechanics of materials, where we will be taking that elements of civil engineering which we studied in our first year of our engineering to a next level, where along with determination of reactions, we will also find what are the forces that are acting and how the beam is going to behave when it is subjected to different varieties of load, and when it is applied with different types of loading condition and supports. So to begin with, so let us understand what are beams. So let us know what is a beam. A beam is a structural member. It is a structural member which is always generally which is placed horizontal. A beam is a structural member which is generally placed horizontal, and it is going to take only the vertical loads or only the loads acting perpendicular to the axis of the beam, or it may also be called as transverse load. A beam is a structural member which is going to carry a transverse load or a vertical load. What is the meaning of this vertical load? Let us imagine this as a beam or a structural member. So if I as you are seeing, it is a pen and it is having a refill. If I am going to apply a load perpendicular to that refill that is present inside this pen, so that load we call it as a vertical load, and refill is considered to be an axis for this cross section. So the loads acting on this structural member, that is how the loads are acting. The loads are acting perpendicular to the axis of the structure. So that type of loads are called as vertical loads or transverse loads, and this structure is called as a beam. So generally we might have seen beams in our buildings, in our houses, where the beams are meant to take the loads that are acting on the roof, or which are generally meant for design, which are generally designed to take up the transverse loads or the vertical loads. Now what are the types of beams we can have? How many varieties of beams we have in our course as well as in general? So the beams are basically classified into two categories: determinate and indeterminate beams. So what are these determinate and indeterminate? So determinate beams are the one which can be analyzed or which can be studied by applying the basic equilibrium conditions. Basic equilibrium conditions means like some of the forces are equal, some of the moments are equal on either side, like the forces acting towards the right should be equal to the forces acting towards the left, that is in the horizontal direction if we take. On the same way, the forces acting in the upward direction should be equal to the forces acting from the downward direction when we consider the forces in the vertical direction or in the y direction. So on the same grounds we have moments also. What is a moment? It is a force into the perpendicular distance which is going to produce a torque, or which is going to produce a coupling effect. So here the moment about any particular point or any particular location should be equal to the 0, or moments acting towards a clockwise direction should be equal to the sum of moments acting in the anti-clockwise direction. So these are the basic equilibrium conditions. So if a beam obeys this basic equilibrium condition, and if we are able to analyze or study a beam with this basic equilibrium condition, then we call it as a deterministic beam. If we are not able to study with this basic equilibrium equations or conditions, then we group them under a category called as indeterminate beams, because we are not able to determine the behavior of a beam properly with the basic available equilibrium equations. This is the basic classification. Then further, the beams are further classified based on the type of support and based on type of loads. So based on the support, what is a support? It is a where the beam is going to take the help of one more structure to stand or to hold some amount of load. So, based on this supports, they are classified into 4 categories. We group them under the category called as cantilevered beam, simply supported beam, overhanging beam and a fixed beam. Cantilevered beam, simply supported beam, overhanging beam, fixed beam. So, let us see what is a cantilevered beam. So, I will take the same help of a pen. So, I will call this as a structural member. This structural member, if it is fixed at one end and free at the other end, it is fixed at one end and free at the other end, then this type of beam is called as a cantilever beam. This type of beam is called as a cantilever beam. So, here I can apply the load at any point, that is I can apply the load from the free point up to the fixed point, So, please understand, a cantilevered beam is a one which is fixed at one end and free at the other end. So, we have two ends on this pen. So, I can fix the pen at one end, and if I leave the other end as free, so this beam we generally call it as a cantilevered beam. It is called as a cantilevered beam. So, we can apply a type of load. We will see what are the types of loads that we can apply on this beam, that is classification of beams based on the type of loads. Now, we are dealing with the classification of beams based on the type of supports. So, I hope you got what is a cantilevered beam. A cantilevered beam is one which is fixed at one end and free at the other end. Next, second classification is a simply supported beam. What happens in case of a simply supported beam? A simply supported beam is one which is kept on two supports, So, same we have taken the pen. I have kept this pen on the two fingers which are acting as a support, where the pen is able to rotate, it is able to move, and it is just kept over the two blocks. So, you can take two bricks, and if you just lay a wood on those two bricks, so that entire thing will become a simply supported case. So, in this also we can apply different types of loads on the span length, which is on the either side of the beam, either side of the supports. So, this type of beams where it is just kept or it is just supported on the two supports on either ends. See, it is not fixed here. When it is fixed, there is no motion at the fixed end, but when it is just simply supported, we can have a motion in this direction, and it can also trace a curvilinear path when the load is applied. So, this type of beam is called as a simply supported beam. Simply supported, as the name itself says, it is simple. The supports are very simple in nature. Again, the type of load that will be applied is a vertical load which is acting downwards and perpendicular to the axis of the beam. The load might be in the downward direction or even in the upper direction, but it should be vertical. And it should be perpendicular to the axis of the beam. So, this is the second category of the beams based on the supports. Next, the third one, it is just a modification to the simply supported beam, where it is called as an overhanging beam. So, in a simply supported beam, we have a supports at the ends. If we move the supports from the ends towards the inner side of the beam, leaving some portion of the structure hanging on either side or hanging on any one of the side, then that type of beam is called as an overhanging beam, because the beam will be hanging with respect from the support to the other side. For example, if you take the same rifle, so in the simply supported, at the ends we had given the support. In an overhanging, we are shifting this support on either side. I can shift towards the inner side of the beam. So here we have shifted. So you can see this portion of the structure is hanging from the support, and even this portion of the structure is hanging from the support. So this portion is hanging from the support, this portion is also hanging from the support. This type of beam is called as an overhanging beam. The overhanging is on both sides of the support, both side overhanging beam. We can call that as a both side overhanging beam. Again, we can have any type of load. So here for an example, I have taken just a point load or vertical load acting on the beam. So what else can we have? The overhang can not only be given on either side, but also it can be given on any one side also. Like if we give a support at one end, and if I move other support towards the inner side, then the left side of the beam will be only overhang. The left end of the beam will be getting overhang. This we call it as left side overhanging beam. Left side overhanging beam. On the other way also it is possible. For example, if you see this figure, so I have kept one support at the end, and we have moved the support which was at the end towards the inner side of the beam, and you can see the right side of the beam or the structure is hanging, and we call this as right side overhanging beam. And the reverse is also possible, that is we can also have a left side overhanging beam. Left side overhanging beam. So these are the examples for overhanging beam, where you can have both side overhanging as well as right side and left side overhanging beam. The type of support is again a simple support, and it is the modification or an modification to the simply supported beam, where we are just seeing an hanging portion of the beam coming on either side. So the last category that we have is fixed beam. Fixed beam. So fixed, the name itself says the ends of the beam are not just supported, they are completely fixed. They are completely fixed. That means to say the member becomes a rigid. It is not able to show any deformations on the horizontal directions. So it is something more advanced to the cantilever. In cantilever we had only one end fixed, where the forces or the displacements at the fixed end is 0 only at one end, where the displacement at the other end was considerably some value. But in fixed beam, see, observe, we have kept one more support at the end, and that support is completely fixed. So here we can have the ends of the beam completely fixed, and the load can be applied inside the beam within the span length, any location or any point. So we have seen 4 types of beams. The first one is cantilevered, where one end of the beam is fixed and other end is free. The second one is simply supported, where the beam is supported at the ends. The third one is overhanging, where the beam is supported within the structural member, and we can observe the hanging of the beam on either side. So we said that as both sides overhanging, and we have either right side overhanging and left side overhanging. By looking into the problem, that is, if we have a hanging portion towards the right side, we call it as a right side overhanging. If we have a hanging portion to the left side, we call it as a left side overhanging. Then the last one we have seen is fixed beam, where both ends of the beam are completely fixed. So these are the types of beams which are categorized based on the type of supports. Now let us see the classification based on the type of load. So we have seen 4 types of beams based on the support. So we can apply, or we can have any beam which is subjected to any type of load. So let us see what are the types of loads that we have, and then let us take any one of the beam and apply those types of beams, and let us see what we call for that particular type of load and other things. So the classification based on load. The first one is point load. Second one is uniformly distributed load. So if you remember, you have usually used to call UDL, and is uniformly varying load. So what we used to call this in short form, UVL. So this point load, or we can also call it as concentrated load. So these are the three types of loads that can be applied on the beams. So even we have moments acting on the beams. So now I will take cantilevered beam, and let us see how these type of loads can be applied on a cantilevered beam. And on the same grounds, we can apply that load, those three loads on the simply supported beam as well as on the overhanging and fixed. So what is a cantilevered beam? A cantilevered beam is one which is fixed. So this is how we are going to represent the fixed condition, fixed at one end, free at the other end. So let us have a span length of the beam as L. Span length means length of the beam as L. So now we are focusing on the first type of load. What is the first type of load that we have? Is a point load or a concentrated load. So this point load can be applied at the ends. The notation that we use to represent the point load is W. I will call that as W1, or in some of the books they will be using that as P1, or few will use that as F1. We can use any of these notations. So it depends on what textbook you are going to refer, and if it is a derivation, they will be using these notations. If it is a problem, they will just indicate the load like 10 kilonewton or 20 kilonewton, and they just give that value. So we have applied point load. So it is a cantilevered beam, fixed at one end, free at the other end, and it is applied with a point load at any given location. So the location that we have chosen here is at the end, at the free end. So what can we apply this load somewhere inside the beam or within the beam? Yes, we can have one more point load here. We can have one more point load even here. We can have any number of point loads acting on this cantilevered beam, and every time when we have a load, so we are changing the notation as P1, P2, P3, or W1, W2, W3. So this is how we are going to apply a point load on a cantilevered beam. So point load, I hope it is clear. It is a load applied on a structural beam, structural member at any given location or any given point, where the location will be specified from the fixed end or from the free end. So this is how the point load is going to be applied. So next, let us take a uniformly distributed load. I am selecting the same cantilevered beam to explain how the uniformly distributed load will be applied. Same, I am going to select the span length as L. Uniformly distributed. What is the meaning of uniformly distributed? The load at each and every location of the beam is same. Load at each and every location of the beam is same, or it is consistent, uniform. So in a classroom, everyone are wearing the uniform. The meaning of that uniform is everyone are same. Everyone are same means with a dress code we are at the same grounds. So the same way, uniformly distributed, uniformly the entire length of the beam is subjected to the same amount of load at each and every point. So general representation of the uniformly distributed load is in this way. It is in this way. W is the load and it will be applied. W is the load and this load is distributed over the span length of L. So we know the unit of load as Newton or kilonewton, but when it comes to a uniformly distributed load, the load applied for unit length, load applied per unit length. The unit of the load up in case of a uniformly distributed case, it will change as Newton per meter or kilonewton per meter. The meaning of that is for every meter or millimeter, the kilonewton, 1 kilonewton of load is applied. For example, if it is 10 kilonewton per meter, for every 10 meters per every 1 meter, 10 kilonewtons of load is applied uniformly throughout the length of the beam. So in some of the cases, they will represent this uniform distributed load in this way also. This doesn't mean we have a multiple point loads at different location. It is just a different way of representing a uniformly distributed load. So again, we have chosen a cantilevered beam and the type of load that is applied is uniformly distributed load. Uniformly distributed load. The next category what we have is uniformly varying. Again, there is uniformity, but we have a second word called as varying. It varies from one end to the other end. One end to the other end. Again, I am choosing a cantilevered beam having a span length of L. Having a span length of L. So we will have the uniformly distributed, uniformly varying load, which is maximum at one end, and minimum at the other end. Again, since the load is distributed throughout the length of the beam or throughout the span length of the beam, W is the load that is acting. The unit again becomes Newton per meter or kilonewton per meter. So you may get one question in your mind. Here we have a maximum load at the fixed end and a minimum load at the free end. Is that always the condition? Is that the only condition that we have? No. We can have the other way around also, where we will have other way also, where the load is minimum at the fixed end and maximum at the free end. Again, observe, it is uniformly varying, proportionately it is varying from one end to the other end, So we have seen concentrated load, uniformly distributed load and uniformly varying load. So these are the type of loads that we have, and these loads can be applied on any beam that we have seen based on the support. So we have seen simply supported, we have seen overhanging, we have seen fixed. These type of loads can be applied on any type of beam if we select. So I have chosen only cantilevered case. The same thing can be shown even for simply supported and overhanging also. I will now just show for simply supported, and overhanging is just a modification to the simply supported case. So what type of load is this? This is an point load or an example for concentrated load. So can you tell for what type of load that we have written? This, we call it as a simply supported beam with uniformly distributed load. Uniformly distributed load. Can you just think for this? It is a simply supported beam with uniformly varying load. This is how we are going to use, this is how the beams are subjected for different varieties of loads. So now what we will be doing in this chapter or in this module? So in this module we will study all the load beams based on the supports, that is cantilever, simply supported, overhanging, fixed, subjected to cantilever beam, subjected to point load, uniformly distributed load, uniformly varying load, and moment and external moment also, external moment, and simply supported beam with all the 4 cases, overhanging beam with all the 4 cases, fixed beam with all the 4 cases. So if you just see what is the number of problems or what are the number of cases that we will be seeing, we have 4 types of beams and each beam is subjected to 3 types of loads. So almost around 16 cases we have, that is cantilevered with all the 3, simply supported with all the 3, overhanging with all the 3, fixed with all the 3, almost 16 cases we have. So what is the end result? In our elements of civil engineering, we are only worried about what are the reactions at A and what are the reactions at B. That means if we call this as point A and B, support A and B, I was worried only about what are the reactions at A, what are the reactions at B. So this was the level of problems that we used to study in our elements of civil engineering. But here we will extend that. This becomes the first, that getting the reactions at the supports becomes the first step in our mechanics of material in shear force and bending moment diagram. We extend further to understand what are the forces, what are the shear forces that are acting on the beam, what are the forces, that is shear forces that are acting on the beam, and how the beam is going to bend, given for subjected for given amount of load. So we are supposed to determine the forces and the bending moment, and then we need to plot. Then we need to draw a diagram or plot the diagram. That's the reason we have shear force and bending moment diagram included in our title of our module. So we will be studying all the cases, and the diagrams and the reactions and the forces will be definitely vary for all the cases that we will be studying. So the intention of understanding this chapter or reading this chapter is to evaluate a beam subjected to different loading conditions and different supports, and then come up with what are the forces, shear forces acting on the beam, and the moment, bending moments that are being produced. And with this bending moment and shear force, when we go still further, that is further module, we will be using the same bending moment, maximum bending moment, to get the deflection. What is the displacement of the beam that is taken place? That displacement or deflection, we will determine what are the stresses that are induced on the beam for the given type of applied load. So see, we started with the reactions, went to shear force and determination of force and moment, then we will determine the deflection, then we will determine the stresses. So in the previous module you have seen how the member is going to fail, So we will compare the stress induced in the member with the allowable stress. So we will use the stress. The final point of this module will be finding out the stress. So that stress will be compared that with the allowable stress or the permissible stress. Then we can say this beam is safe. Or we will determine what is the factor of safety for this beam. If the factor of safety is more than 1, we say the dimensions of the beam that we have chosen is safe. So see, we have traveled a long distance, and end result is to say the beam is safe or not to take up this amount of load in this particular supporting condition. So this is how the entire chapter goes, but we have a step by step way, we should move in a stepwise manner. So, first we will restrict ourselves to determine the force and the bending moment in the first part of the module. Then once we are done with the determination of force and moment, the second part of the module is determination of bending stresses and deflections, that we will see later. So, we will be moving in a stepwise, or we will target the chapters or the module in a piecewise manner, and then we will understand the concepts first, understand how to solve the forces and moments, then we will move further.